Assalamualaikum and greetings. Welcome to another episode of PSYC-CAST podcast. Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the second episode of PSYC-CAST podcast. I am Nina, your host for today's episode. So, if this is your first time watching or those who don't know, the nature of this podcast is to have engageful discussion on topics that resonate deeply with students while still maintaining our main topic, which is peer support. You can catch our podcast on YouTube channel and Spotify under PSYCSTA. You can also check us out on social media. We are on Instagram at PSYCSTA IIUM and IIUM_FM, and we're also on TikTok at psycsta.iim and iim.fm. So today in this episode, I am joined not one but two representatives from our dedicated peer psychosocial support team. We have Madam Nuraini Aligria Sunir. And also we have listener Sister Afifa, who is here today with me in the studio as a representative from the visionary team that developed this amazing program. So we are thrilled to have you both here today. Assalamualaikum, Sister Afifa and Mother. How are you guys today? We're good.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Is this your first time joining a podcast or have you done it before?
Yeah, it is
Your first-
actually my first time as well.
All right, I hope you have a good time. All right, so welcome again, Madam Noaini and Sister Afifa to PSYCCAST podcast. And before we get started with this episode, I want to give you guys, our listeners, background of our guest today. So first of all, Madam Noraini. So Madam Noraini Aligria Sunir is a clinical psychologist and academic member of the Department of Psychology at Ahas Kerkeshats in IIUM. And also she is a member of the Psychological Services Unit, PSU. And she has been the course instructor for the subject of abnormal psychology. Okay, and she also completed her master in human sciences in psychology at IIUM. And also background for our sister Afifa. So she's a second year psychology student from Ahas Kerkeshas in IIUM, and also she joined the peer psychosocial support project, right? And it's currently in her second year in the project. All right. So without further ado, I'm sure our listeners are eager to know what is the topic for today's episode. Even I am excited. So I want to ask Sister Afifa, can you reveal what is our topic for today?
Sure, our topic for today is peer psychosocial support.
Yeah, okay. So to be more exact, the official topic for today is the power of peer support, the behind the scene of PSYCSTA's peer psychosocial support project. So I'm sure some of our listeners is first time hearing this project, right? So we're gonna get deeper into this topic. Okay. So before we begin, I want to ask Madam Aini, I know you are very experienced in this project. So may I ask what actually is a peer psychosocial support project?
All right, thank you so much, Mina, for this opportunity. This is actually an opportunity for us to actually share with IM community and also people out there what are we doing and what is our vision and what is our objective. So thank you so much for inviting us. It's an honor to be here.
Yes.
Okay, so from the name itself, peer psychosocial support, it is basically student-led initiative. So it's like by students for students. Okay, so what it means, it's like we are training students to become listeners. By the way, they're not counselors. I have to make this very clear. So they're not counselors, they are trained listeners. Yeah, so what they do is they provide a safe space for our students to be able to share whatever that they have been keeping to themselves or what they have in mind. Just the basic idea of human connection. So that's the thing that we are trying to again inculcate, yeah, and also share with other people that it's okay to be able to be vulnerable and also to be able to talk to people about whatever that you are going through. So that's the main focus, and also of course to be able to um, tell students that or tell other people that it's not we are trying we're gonna try our best to become very how to say empathic in terms of attending to whatever that they're sharing with us, and also very much non-judgmental. So so that was basically the rough idea of what peer psychosocial support is. Yeah.
The concept is so amazing. So I understand. So you take students to become the listeners, right? So therefore, also the people that can come to consult for the listeners are also students. So that way, it has that peer kind of the same age. So they are more like open because they have the same age, right?
Correct.
As the listeners. So may I know what's the inspiration of the development of this project?
Okay. I think it all started during pandemic, early 2021. I think. Yeah, that's about that time. There was a lot of cases or students that were struggling, basically feeling lonely and keeping it to themselves and feeling isolated and feeling overwhelmed, by the way. So we have this idea, okay, why not we start a project that actually can help people, not only students, but also other people to be able to share whatever that they're experiencing at that time. So basically I was a part of this project before even I joined IIUM. So it's a Malaysian chapter of Sidewalk Talk. Sidewalk Talk is actually initiated by the psychotherapist in San Francisco, California, Tracy Rubel. Right, she's a psychotherapist, so she was the one who initiated this project, Sidewalk Talk. But then, when we talked about, since it's pandemic, so we weren't able to actually put chairs, because Sidewalk Talk is the concept is you put chairs in sidewalk, uh, in a sidewalk, and the people would just come and share whatever that they're experiencing at that time. So that wasn't possible because it was pandemic. So we had this idea, okay, why not we do it online first? Okay, so we did it online. So Alhamdulillah, we actually managed to have a lot of listening. Yeah, listening, like people who wanted to share something, what they're going through, because basically we are experiencing, something that is quite out of the normal, right? And so yeah, people came and people shared, and it was that that actually led to this project to to continue, and also for us to think about, okay, what if, since pandemic is over, so why not we do it physically? So yeah, so that was the start of this particular project.
All right.
Yeah.
Such an amazing concept, and I love the inspiration behind it. And I'm sure this project can go further in the future because it felt such a concept that is can be developed more. All right, so moving on, I want to ask Sister Afifa. So I understand you're trained a seasoned listener, right? This is Shahel here, becoming as a listener. So from your point of view, from your experience, I want to ask, what is a peer psychosocial this project means to you?
Actually, from my point of view, I want to say something cliche like pure psychosocial support project is the light that shines my darkness, you know?
Wow, very deep.
Because during that time, I was in my first year, second semester, and we had that long intense time vacation, right? Yes. During that time, I kind of like fall into a slump actually. Yeah, it just makes me feel like, what am I doing actually? Why am I, I feel like I could do more than this, but why I'm doing like this? So at the same time, this project came and I went to the interview, and then we have our training session. So actually during the training, it's like a class actually. We have our theoretical learning.
I see.
You see, during that time, although it is like a class, but it actually made me feel like, oh, this is what I'm going through. This is what I want people to actually listen to me. So every time we had the class, I have this thought of like, yeah, I want people to listen to me like how Dr. Aini, Dr. Pam, and Brother Haika are conducting their lessons right now. So yeah, so in a way, this project helped me to, like escape a little bit from my darkness, from my slump. And here I am right now. I want to help people to get back, or, to contribute back to the community.
That's so wonderful. So how was the experience so far after being like second year?
Oh, yeah. Or actually, at first, I was really nervous.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure.
Commitment.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It is a, I would say, big commitment, that high responsibility to become the listener, right? Yeah. And also, during the training, actually, if you miss one session, you cannot go to the next steps. So that's how big it is and how serious and important it is.
To become the training session, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you had some benefits so far from joining this thing? Maybe this project. So maybe some benefits for you. Maybe how maybe you got to improve yourself or in every.
Sure. Actually, actually, I think I benefit the most from this project out of other activities that I have joined. Because first of all, Dr. Aini, Madam Aini, Dr. Pam and Brother Haika emphasized to us that before we want to help other, we gotta have ourselves first. Especially just with real. Before we take care of others, we have to take care of ourselves. So in a way, it kind of like opened my mind and made me realize, yeah, why I'm sacrificing myself for others. So actually, indirectly, uh, this training session helped me to discover more about myself and helped me to get to know more about myself and really, really made me see that it's okay that I'm feeling like this. It's okay. And I have my friends there, right? I mean, like the other listeners, fellow listeners here. Yeah, that is my own social support. Actually, we actually talk a lot with each other, and when we debriefing during our empathy circle, there's like a session called empathy circle. Empathy circle, it's like a role play, right? You know? Yeah, it's a role play. So at that, I can literally talk about anything. Even though we have our close friends or family, but there are some boundaries that or topics that we don't talk them. See. So whenever I went to this to the team, to the support, to the training session, I felt really happy because I know, okay, I can put my mind at ease. I can help. No judgment. Yeah, it can ease my burden. Here's it.
Correlation. I see. That is such a strong connection that you have with your fellow listeners. Okay, so now that I have quite a strong understanding of this project, may I know, going back to Madam, so the process of this project. So how are the the listeners, right? The trainees, listeners are selected and the training process of it, basically.
Okay. Thank you for that question. All right. First, of course, we need to advertise, right? Advertise to students or anyone who would like to join or who wants to become a listener. So that's the first process that we have to go through. Then after that, then definitely they will have to go through a selection process. So in that selection process, then we are going to give them some a little bit of how to say, just getting to know who they are. Like we have a very short interview and also give them like questionnaires to make sure that they are fit. So as what Afifa mentioned just now, if the student himself or herself is actually struggling at that time or at that moment, then we might be able to allow them to become listeners at that time. So they might go get help first, then before they can join back or again. So we have to make sure of that because we don't want them to be triggered whenever that they're actually listening to another student. So that we have to make sure of that. So we have that procedure in the very beginning, and then after that, they will go through a rigorous series of trainings.
How long is the process of training?
Basically around a month or so, depending on again the availability of the students, of the listeners, and also the trainers. But usually we will have the basic ones or the most important ones are the three training modules that they have to go through. So the first one is definitely focusing on basic listening skills. So it's the very first thing that they have to learn: attending skills or anything about empathic skills or listening. So all that has to be done first. Then after that, the second training module will be focusing on handling crisis.
Handling crisis.
Yeah, handling crisis is again guidelines to help them to be able to identify risks, like students who are at risk or whether they need professional help. So that is where, because again, like I said before, they are not counselors, they're trained listeners. So they would listen. So if they think that the student is at risk, then they will be referred to our psychology clinic. to be further assessed, and also if they need intervention. And we also allow them to also find other services, like, or mental health resources outside and also inside, like counseling unit. So yeah, so that will be the second module, identifying the risk and also guidelines in handling crisis. And then the third one is also one of the most important ones, as you mentioned, is self-care. So it's like compassion fatigue and also self-care, right? So people who have been listening to a lot of issues or challenges might be affected themselves. So it's very important to have internal check-in. So which means that you have to know whether you're actually struggling as well at that time, or you are triggered with what the person has shared. So in that last training, they'll be able to understand that in order to help other people, they have to take care of themselves first. So it's because we are like sponge. Yeah, sponge that that absorbs, absorbs water, and that has to be squeezed out through self-care. So yeah, they would learn that in that the final module. Then after completing all those trainings, they also have to go through what she mentioned just now, empathy circle. So empathy circle is like a preparation for the real, project itself. So they'll be having role plays, right, in there, and then we will do debriefing. So again, it's like mini preparation before the actual listening project begins. Yeah. So in there they would take roles as a listener and a listener. So that will be the role play. Yeah, and then we will see whether they are actually ready, and that is also where we give feedback to them. So if we notice that there are some room for improvement, or there'll be some anything that they could improve on, then we will give them feedback on that. And also always check in with each other, with because like I said, it is very, very actually physically and mentally, a little bit, I would say, heavy when they are listening to, other people. And by the way, I forgot to mention this just now. We have this, which I will I'll share a little bit more later, because I think we have this idea or belief that when you come to talk to people, you only talk about your problems. That is not what peer psychosocial support is. We are not only listening to problems, but we also listen to anything that you are experiencing. So it can be happy moments that you would like to share. Yeah.
I feel because even the name it says is listener, so
Correct. Yeah, it can be anything.
yeah, it can be anything. Okay, so about the process again that you mentioned, Manda, is there like before this, was there any like challenges when you were like selecting the listeners?
Definitely, because there are clashes in terms of getting the timings and all that. So that it's like, a little bit challenging on that, and making sure that, like I said, not everyone who have, who were interested is actually fit. So to be able to tell them that, oh no, we are not, this is not a kind of, like rejection or anything like that. No, it is actually, we are putting you first. We are making sure that you are fit. Yes, you are fit and you are okay yourself. You are not struggling before we even let you become listeners. Yeah, so those are some of the challenges that we've had, yeah, before, to make sure that we don't deter, other people to join. Yeah, and also a huge stigma in terms of what is this peer psychosocial support, right? Because people are not familiar with this concept, like in Western countries.
If I may add,
Yeah.
the stigma that Doctor mentioned is, like how at school we have those PRS. Yes. Can I say it? But we Pengarakan Sebaya. And okay, I'm not sure, but during one generation, we don't really have good memories of it. Because that counseling session, it becomes a gossip session. And like the PRS themselves, they always like talk back about it with the others or their friends. So it kind of makes us feel like they don't actually listen to us. They just listen to make to talk with others. Like that. Is that? It was not constructed maybe because the selection is very important, right? Who to become the PRS during the days.
And if I may add to that, in the process itself, we make sure that confidentiality is number one, because again, people would not trust. Yeah, people actually talk, about your problems or anything that you shared. So we make sure that they have signed, right, the form, non-disclosure form, yeah, and the NDL, right? So that to make sure that okay, whatever that the person shared with you, it stays with you. Right. So you don't necessarily so if we do debriefing even towards the end of empathy circle, we will make sure that we don't use any names or anything like that. So it's just a reflection of what they went through or what they've experienced during the listening process. Yeah, so we really make sure that is kept confidential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Megan, for that input and taste Afifa. So I would love to get more deeper into this topic, but before that, we're gonna take a break. Stay tuned for part 2 of this discussion. All right, welcome back to part 2 of today's episode, Pure Psychosocial Support Project, behind the scenes of it. All right, so Madam Aini and Sis Afifa, so I will go back to Sis Afifa lah. Okay, so you have been experiencing and training in this for this project. So I would also like to know, how do you implement all the things that you've learned in this project? How you implement those things into your daily life?
So first of all, I would like to re-emphasize the self-care. The self-care that coach really helped me so much. I'm sorry to say this, but in the case, since I'm a psychology student, during class, I don't really feel like, like it's important to take care of myself. But when I go through the training, I realize, yeah, this is why I'm taking psychology actually. I just want to get to know more about myself, etc. So the second thing that I learned is how people can actually know if you're sincere to listen to them or not. Back then, when I was in my high school, uh, I have this kind of intention that, okay, I want to be there for my friends. I want to listen to them.
You help others.
Yeah, I want to help others. But actually, when I look back, I don't really listen to them, but I'm just there for myself. Like I pretend, okay, I won't say I pretend I did listen, but it's not that attentively and really empathetic as how Madam mentioned just now. So when I get to go through all the trainings and then Madam teach about the listening skills, etc., I feel like, oh, this is what I've been missing actually. Maybe this is why I don't really feel the satisfaction. I mean, like the satisfaction, yeah, degree is like different when I'm here and back than when I'm with my friends during my high school days. That's like the second thing, the listening skills. It's not easy to be a listener actually. So because we tend to meet with our own emotion as well, and sometimes it looks like we not invalidate them, but actually we are invalidating their feelings. Okay, for example, let's say my friend's like ranting, oh my god, this subject is so hard. And then I'll be like, why? And she's be like, I don't like statistic, for example. Mathematics so hard for me. Then I'll be like, no, you just gotta learn. It's easy. You just use some software, that's it. I thought that I'm listening to her, but actually it's not. So in the listening skills that Madam Aini and that other doctors provide, it is actually very helpful. And I think I implement that more. And I think after I've learned it, I can become a better listener nowadays. The last one, I think the third point or the third tips that I got from this project is no matter how difficult it is to you, it may be different to other people.
Correct.
It's true. Another thing that doctor emphasized is you may feel like the things that the person the listener talk about may feel like it's just it's just so it's just a daily life
Something normal.
yeah something normal, but actually that's not normal to like that's not, it doesn't like the same to everyone, right? Some people seek it, it's very heavy for them. Maybe for us it's simple, but for them it's everything for them.
So you don't know the degree on how people perceived it.
It's true that once again opened my mind that yeah, we actually different people, different feelings, different degree of emotions. So yeah, I just hope that by having this podcast again can help me realize again, that's okay. Before I get back.
Huh. So would you say, I understand that means after you have learned a lot of things in this project, you also would say you yourself, I mean, you've improved yourself as a listener, but then outside of this project, as a friend, you also improved, I mean, your listening skills, maybe the way you talk, you engage with your friends outside of this project, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so how is that impacted you maybe after you have all these skills learned from this project? How does that impact you would say, in when you are engaging in your daily life with your friends, with your peers?
I would say that they will come, to find me more. They'll trust me more. They'll come and be like, you know what, it's very good that you joined the peer psychosocial. So they'll be like, yeah, I feel like I have my own listener. I don't need to go through the counseling. I said, no. If you are severe, then you need to go and to the professional. I'm just here to listen.
I mean, I know the process of like, okay, so you're a listener. When during the session, is it allowed? Maybe this is for Madam to Ifontas.
Gosh.
So how is the process? Maybe when you were listening to them, are you I mean, can you give also your feedback, or you just listen? No feedbacks from you. How is that like the process of it?
Actually, Madam mentioned earlier, we as a listener, we are here to listen, not to provide solution. So that's the first thing that we as a listener should not do. You cannot provide solutions. But there are some listening that they will trick us, They will say like, if you're in my place, then how will you do it?
That's very common, comment that you will get from your listening.
Okay, so how do you handle that?
From my point, Madam taught us that you need to say that this might work for me, but it might not work for you.
Correct.
Okay.
Because I think it's very, very difficult to put yourself in, like we say this a lot. Okay, empathy is putting yourself in another person's shoe, but it's never easy because we have our own ideas, we have our own thoughts, we have our own values, and sometimes our judgments are clouded by all those. So it's not. So that's why I also tell them that, it's never easy to understand another person's issue or problem or challenges. But what you can do is actually provide a listening ear. But it doesn't mean that you just have to, okay, no, no. You have to validate those emotions or relate to those emotions by not giving them solutions. And that is very difficult. That's why they have to go through that training, because that training would actually separate you from people who just, like what she said, some people, they just, their intentions might be good, but how it is expressed and how it came through is invalidating. So yeah, that one you really need to have training. Yeah, and you know how to regulate your own emotions while you're talking to them. So that is not an easy thing, because listening is not just hearing what other people are saying. You are doing a whole lot of things inside your head. You are giving full attention. You are processing. You are summarizing. You are paraphrasing, and that is not an easy thing to do at one go. Another thing that she said, why is it important to go through all those training, is because one of the biggest predictor of compassion fatigue is actually not having enough training.
Predictor?
Yeah, it's like factors that contribute to compassion fatigue. Yeah, because compassion fatigue is like when you are losing it's the cost of giving yourself too much to another person. So when you give too much to another person, I always say this to my students as well. The more that you say yes to other people, the more you say no to yourselves. Okay? So when you do that, you eventually would lose the enjoyment of doing something that you really like. That is compassion fatigue. So it's the price that you pay if you continuously not take care of yourself. Yeah.
So you can be selfless to others, but also it has that the amount.
Yes. You have to be compassionate to yourself as well. Because to be compassionate to other people, you have to become compassionate to yourself first. Because if you are not compassionate to yourself, there is a risk that you are going to risk other people's life. For example, you might say something that might not set, in or something, that could trigger them. Yeah.
That leads to my second point, which is we have our hats on,
Yeah,
before we
correct.
have our session.
Yeah.
Adam always say that put your hats as a listener on, and we are ending, the session ended. We need to take out the hat.
So if I may add, right? So when we start our empathy circle, that is the first thing that we would like we do. We take oath as well to get into, like state of mind to be okay. We are a listener now. Now we are going to use this or put on our hat of a listener, and then we are engaged and we make sure that we pray, of course, to Allah that everything will go smoothly, right? So we do that. We get into that mindset, so that it prepares us, and we do breathing technique, of course. Before we start, we make sure that everyone is okay. Then we will start to put on that hat. Okay.
It's also ask about each other mental health.
Correct. Yeah.
It's also important to check on each other.
Exactly. Yeah. So usually we will ask like from the scale of 1 to 10. So how are you feeling right now? Yeah. So that is, I think, very, very important.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm really loving how you guys also, it's very important to have like connections with each other in not only with
How you review your report.
yeah, because the topic support is also in the whole project. Okay. So I really want to know what is your hopes and vision for this upcoming season for of because I believe there's another season upcoming in the next semester for Psychosocial Sport project. So what are your hopes and vision? Maybe I want to know from both sides. Okay. So as a listener, I really hope that there are more volunteers that can come and help us. It was actually really, really fun and I would say it's very memorable actually. Like, not all people can get these opportunities to learn and to develop all these skills. As for the listening, I also hope that more people can come and really grab this chance because not every day people will be there for you just to listen to your rants. As Madam mentioned, not just about your struggles, it can be your achievement or just your daily life. Just like how we have like vlog nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just same to us. Also, also want to break that stigma of this project is like the PRS. Yeah, I want to break that because we definitely are very, very secretive and confidential. The confidentiality, Madam always there to check us actually. During the debriefing, she will like, okay, what do you debrief about? Don't talk about your listeners stories, It's just like that. It's very more serious this one, more structured.
Yeah.
Madam?
Correct. Yeah. It is very, how to say, serious in a way that we are very, very committed. When the moment that we put our hats on, that is the time that we shift our mindset and say, okay, this is the time that we really need to focus on who are we listening to. And my hopes, definitely our hope as a PSU member, right? I'm also representing our psychological services unit together with Dr. Pam and Brother Aiko. Our hopes definitely is to expand this project, to have more listeners, and to break that barrier, or to break that stigma, and also that misconception about what is listening project. It's because I think, like I said earlier on, it is by students for students. So of course we want to maintain and sustain, right, this project. It's because I believe, as an educator myself, right, I believe um on lifelong learning. So this is actually a skill that you can use, that you can have, that you can keep with you the moment that you graduate. Because again, being a student is not necessarily just focusing on your academics or your co-curricular. The skills that you have learned here. So that is, I think, very much what we hope for, so that they can bring these skills together with them and apply in their everyday life, and also help other people to think that it's okay to talk to people or to connect with other people, because at the end of the day, human connection is very important. So yeah, to one last thing that I wanted to say is, um, I hope that the culture, it can be embedded in IIM community. This culture of just sharing or connecting, because that is the soul of this peer psychosocial support, is human connection. Yeah.
Before we end, I'm intrigued to know, because I understand this project from you guys from PSU. The target audiences are, of course, the students from IIM.
Correct.
Right. So I think I do know there are some universities, that other outside universities that also done quite similar projects like this. So maybe for our listeners that maybe are not from IIM, maybe would like also to know. So what do you think, maybe from your experiences? So what makes your project, IIUM's, KSU's psychosocial peer support project maybe differ from other universities, or maybe you guys have any significances?
Okay. If we're talking about significances, right, I think it's quite, I'm going to talk about the similarities first, right?
Yeah.
So this has been going on for a very long time. So remember when we talked about Miss
The originator.
Miss Tracy Ruo, right, from San Francisco. She invited a lot of people from different countries to open a chapter. So we opened a chapter here in Malaysia, which is led by my close friend, Dr. Lim Mangjun, right? So he was the first person who opened a chapter of listening project in Segi College, Subang Jaya. So from there, I kind of discussed with Dr. Pamilia and Brother Aikau, so why not we adopt something quite similar to this, okay, in IIUM, to again break the stigma of you only share. It's not about sharing your problems only. It's basically just you connect, because we're so busy with our phones, with our gadgets. We don't necessarily talk to each other. Even sometimes we go back to your mahalla and then you just don't talk to your friends. So I think that's the first thing that we need to, y- the similarities that I see. So we always want to breach that gap in terms of the connection. But what I think stands out is, again, is the way that we approach this listening project, because like I said before, we had to transition from online to actually physical, and we don't necessarily do it because this is a very much, I would say, a baby project. We just about to start to do it physically. So the I think the only difference that you can see with the Malaysian chapter of Sidewalk Talk is they go outside into the community.
Like approaching people?
Correct.
physically?
Yes, we did that in front of Sunway Pyramid. Yeah, so we open chairs, like, chairs. We put up chairs, and then we just call, anyone would you like to be listened today, right? So yeah, that is something that we're doing. But here in IIM, since we started to, how to say, just started to explore this idea, right? So we start with we have a psychology day. So we have a booth, and then we open up and we have a specific space. We put up chairs as well. So this is like a beginning for this project, and then of course our the next step would be definitely going outside. I mean, to
Small bigger audience.
yes, small bigger audience, or to serve the community outside IM community. I think, yeah.
That is so interesting to know the different approaches that you guys have made to
Right.
develop more to this program, to make it into something much more bigger than it is. All right, so I think that brings us to the end of our discussion today. Thank you so much, Madam Ayu, and also Tita Afifa, for your insightful perspective on the peer psychosocial support project. And with that, for our listeners, I'm excited, and we're excited to announce that the upcoming season of this amazing program is ongoing in the future. So if you're looking for support or are inspired to become listeners just like Sister Afifa and want to make a real difference in our university community, so keep an eye out for announcement from PSYCSTA in the near future. So thank you, dear listeners. As usual, if you want to catch this podcast, you can watch on YouTube channel and also on Spotify under PSYCSTA. And you can also follow our social media. We're on Instagram at PSYCSTA-IIM and IIM_FM. And we're also on TikTok at psycsta.iim and iim.fm. And with that, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Sister Afifa.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much also, dear listeners, for tuning in. So see you later, PSYCCAST.